Hello everyone and welcome to Perfect Date, the game that we're going to be checking out today. So without further ado, should we go ahead and get started? I think that's a good idea. Meow. Okay, so we're going to be starting a new game. We're going to be going from scratch here. 6 chapters. Let's see how far we get, shall we? Meow. Ah, design a character. Seems like a good place to start to me. Oh, I love that their eyes and their mouths get so animated when you mouse over them. They look rather cute. Let's have a little flick through, see what we could look like. All these options. Who knows? Quite enjoy how bright pink the shirt is there. Should we go with that? Right. Boo. Good as any. Meow. Probably best not to put the hamster, you see, because, you know, cats like hamsters. This is a game about cats. Don't want to get eaten. Right. Roger. We will not turn off while saving. Oh, look at Disco Cat. Now that was great. Ah, beautiful oceans. I'm not sure how long we've been sailing, but it feels like forever. I'm not feeling too well now, so it's a huge relief to hear the deck lad shout, "Island approach! Make yourself ready!" I'm finally here. When I applied last month, I was just another broke student living off baked beans, and I didn't really think I had a chance of being accepted to be part of the prestigious Cat Island research team. Yet here it is. The little black dot in the distance, growing bigger by the second, is the infamous Cat Island, the place I will call home for the next few months. My heart momentarily skips a beat. What if there's been a mistake? What if they accepted someone else's application and accidentally sent the offer to me? I rummage around in my bag until I find the papers. That is something I would be panicking about. But how wonderful does Cat Island sound? Sounds great. DPRI, DP Corporation. Dear Boo, we are pleased to be able to offer you the position of Research Assistant to Professor Purr-ty at our Cat Island Research Facility. The position will be for an initial period of 8 weeks. Your contract will be sent separately. We look forward to working with you. Yours sincerely, Professor Purr-ty, PhD, BSc Hons, DPG. Sounds good. No mistake. That's my name right there in the top left-hand corner. Boo. And there's his name at the bottom, the genius behind this whole operation. Professor Purr-ty, science genius and my new boss. I look up from my papers to see dry land rapidly approaching before us. It seems to be surrounded by a huge barrier of impenetrable black rocks. As we get closer, we're not slowing down, and I begin to worry that we're going to crash into them. Then, at the very last moment, we take a sharp turn to the left, and suddenly we're sailing smoothly towards a jetty through an opening in the rocks. It's good, don't want to be crashing already, do we? I blow out the breath that I've been holding in, and break into a smile. Oh, look at that, I really am smiley. Nicely done, skipper! The ferryman comes out from behind the steering wheel, ignoring my attempts at camaraderie, and shouts rather brusquely, "Take all your belongings, we won't be back for days, so don't leave nothing you'll need." Thank you. I smile weakly at the ferryman and his son and pick up my bags, ready to disembark. We glide seamlessly up to the wooden jetty, and the son leaps ashore to tie us off. He's greeted by a bulky man in a uniform, who I take to be a security officer of some kind. Oh, this is exciting. Here we are, entering Cat Island. Joe? Sir? Caught you a mouse. Wait, am I the mouse? And then he laughs loudly, as though he's said the funniest thing he's ever heard. It's very disconcerting. The security guard remains surly and turns his attention to me. Let's be having you then. Wait, I'm not an item. He holds out his large hand, which I assume is an offer to help me off the boat, but as I reach out to take it, he snatches it away, throwing me off balance so that I almost fall over the side. What a great start. Doesn't sound like the nicest of blokes. ID card? Oh, I see, of course. Or maybe I'm just a muppet. I reach into my back pocket and hand over the laminated card I was given on the mainland. I think which mainland is the question. I'm quite keen to know because this sounds wonderful and let's all go visit, right? Look at my little ID badge. Lovely. Disco Kitty is back! Okay. He barely looks at it before striding off, grunting over his shoulder. This way! Ah, look at the trees. I follow him down a dirt track path and get my first proper view of the island. It's beautiful, lush and green. I'm already under its spell. Oh, look at this! After no more than a couple of minutes trekking, we're at base camp, which consists of an assortment of tents and huts. Among them are two more solid-looking structures, one larger and one smaller. I presume these are the labs. The whole camp is moderate but functional. It reminds me of an army outpost. I'm struck by the lack of people. In fact, there's no one around, apart from an older woman sitting outside peeling a pile of potatoes. I smile and give her a little nod, but she just stares back at me. Wow, she doesn't look very happy. I try not to get paranoid. Here. He's stopped at the largest of the tents, indicating I should go inside. It looks like a rather nice little tent. I feel rude just walking in, so I make my presence known first. Yes, because can't really knock on a tent, can you? Fun fact. Hello? A firm but friendly voice calls out. Come! Oh, it's exciting. I walk in, and there he is, hunched over some documents. The great Professor Pauper! From the looks of it, he's surrounded by quite a heap of mess, too. Sir, it's an honour to meet you. Yes, you must be Boo. Come on in, my dear. Glad to have you on board. Good journey? Well, long. Yes, indeed. We're rather tucked away here. Let me offer you some refreshment. Water, coffee, something stronger, perhaps? Whiskey? Well, you know what the answer is here, right? Cup of tea? I'd love a cup of tea if there's a pot on the go. Ah, I can tell you're new. The tea here tastes like cat's piddle. You really don't want to drink it. Well, okay then. Good to know. He pulls me a cup of coffee from his canteen instead. It's a good thing I like coffee. It will take you a while to find your way around and discover how it all works, so for today, I thought I would just get you kitted out and maybe introduce you to some of the locals. The cats, that is. I believe you've already met most of the human locals. Oh? I've only met the ferryman and the security guard who brought me here. Yes, that's about it. And the lady outside? Ah, Mrs. Marigold. Her and her husband are the caretakers. Wonderful couple, the Marigolds. You'll meet them both before too long. We're a tidy little family here, Boo, and I'm sure you'll fit in nicely. Thank you, sir. I hope so. Me too. Okay, so, first things first, this is your basic kit. Ooh, what are we gonna get? He begins going through a pile of things on his desk, explaining each of them in turn. This is your backpack, you can put everything in it. We'll be going on plenty of field trips, so it will be very useful. As will your own water bottle. Some disinfectant hand spray. Ah, these are the heavy-duty reinforced gloves, which are essential when tagging cats out in the wild. Don't want any scratches from felines we know, now do we? I suppose not. I shove each item into my new backpack as he gives them to me. Sounds like I'm getting all the goodies today. Likewise, these goggles are to be brought along on all field trips. This lot here, he indicates to a small pile of what looks like laundry, is basic uniform. Lab coats, masks, stethoscope, etc, etc. You should most certainly not be putting your stethoscope in the laundry. Do not recommend. Portable first aid kit, camping knife with all the tool attachments. Probably neither of those should go in the laundry either. Finally, and without doubt, most importantly... What is it? This! Oh, that looks very jazzy, doesn't it? He holds up something that looks like a mobile phone, except it clearly isn't one. No, because it's got a cute little kitty on the front. This is your catalogue. See what you did there? Catalogue? Yes, the name comes from its earliest version. It was initially designed to record and store data on the cats, scan them and log their details. But as you see, we've come a long way since then. Now, you can use it to communicate with the rest of our team. I've added everyone's contact details for you. Listen to music, take photos, There's even a pen that comes with it to insert microchips into the back of the cats' necks so that we can keep track of them. This sounds very fancy. It's a very valuable piece of equipment, Boo, and I need you to protect it above all else. Do you understand? Well, we'll give it a solid shot. He's looking at me directly in the eye and clearly expects a response. Yes, sir. Of course I will look after it. Good. You'll get to know all the functions as you go along, but for now I suggest we take a stroll out and see if we can't find a few friends to introduce you to so that you can try it out. He hands me the gadget. I feel a bit nervous taking charge of it, but also really keen to have a go. I just want to see a kitty. Let's go meet someone. Disco cat, can we meet him? Who are we going to meet? Oh, look at this beautiful little beach. We head down to the beach, the professor explaining things as we go. The mixture of terrain on Cat Island is quite unique. Even in such a relatively small area, you'll find forests, mountains, jungle, beaches, woodland, all of these different geological and ecological zones in one place. It really is most remarkable. You know what's truly remarkable? The fact that somewhere as pretty as this, with as much diversity as this, hasn't been completely monopolised by the human species and turned into some sort of holiday wonderland. But hey, it certainly is. Even the lack of wildlife is, in itself, quite remarkable. What do you mean, Professor? Well, put simply, there is a type of force field that surrounds the island, disallowing anything to enter. Huh. You mean literally anything? Absolutely. No birds, fish, or creatures of any kind can penetrate it. That's weird. Forgive my lack of intelligence on this subject, but we're here. The professor lets out a disconcertingly loud laugh. Ah, I see what you mean. Well, there is of course one small break in this invisible wall, and that's where we built the jetty. But let's not get too bogged down in all of this right now. What you do need to know is that basically the island is shaped like a peanut. Peanut butter. He's picked up a nearby stick and draws a simple map in the sand. This, our end of the island, is very well known to us now. We've been researching here for many years. The other end is not so familiar to us. We have encountered difficulties that have hindered our process in the region. Ooh, glitchy glitch. What type of difficulties, Professor? Well, we're not as sure as we'd like to be, but what I can tell you is that the environment has an adverse effect upon humans, inducing nausea at the very least. And at the worst? Fainting, migraines, possible nerve damage. Gosh, that is serious. As I say, it's best to keep away, but let's not go into all of that now, my dear. You've had a long day. For now, let's just say that we refer to the far edge of the island as the danger zone, with good reason. I must ask you not to put yourself at risk by venturing beyond this mountain range here. He refers to the map once more, drawing a line just past the centre and an X through the end section. But we all know, X marks the spot, right? We must have to go there. There are wild, aggressive cats out there. I wouldn't want you getting too close to them. Also, fun point. If nothing can enter, no birds and no fish, how do these cats eat? Please tell me they're not eating each other. That can't be right, surely. Someone's got to be bringing them food. Ugh. I hope they are anyway. Unlike our lovely fellows closer to home. He has led me to a spot where a few cats are lounging around. What do you say we try out your catalogue now, Boo? He stoops down and picks up one of the animals, a disgruntled looking cat, who was sleeping under the shade of a large palm tree. Oh, look at you! Lovely ginger one. The cat lets out a displeased mewl, but doesn't struggle. Its large body, billowing with long orange fur, just sort of hangs in the professor's arms in lazy resignation. You're adorable. Would you like to have a go at scanning this delightful chap? Yes I would. I find the on switch, and somewhat timidly activate it. The gadget immediately comes to artificial life, emitting a boop 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 sound with a red pulsating light. I select the app labelled Cat Scan. Ha! See what you did there. And it loads instantly. There's no delay on this thing. The professor holds the cat towards me with arms outstretched. I'm sure he said the scanning chip is implanted into the back of the neck somewhere, but it's difficult to find this one's neck amidst the thick cloud of fur. He is a fluffy one, isn't he? I blow to make a parting and press the catalogue to his skin. It's a bit like scanning groceries in the supermarket where I used to work. That should do it. And he plops the Marmalade Tom back into the shade. Sure enough, upon withdrawal, I find the cat has been successfully scanned. Meow! Ah, Floofy Butt. What a good name for a cat. Floofy Butt. Name Floofy Butt. Gender male. Age 10 years 4 months. Breed red tabby Persian. Eye colour red. And look at this adorable little picture here. Oh, love it. Amazing! Clever, isn't it? A large part of your job here will be to tag and scan the cats, such as Mr. Floofy Butt here, but it looks like you'll have no problems at all in that area. Excellent work, Boo. Thank you, sir. I can't wait to get started. Well, I mean, if all I'm doing is scanning, I'm sure we can manage that, right? It's got to be fairly simple. Well, why don't you get a bit more practice with the catalogue and scan the rest of them while we're here? These 5 spend a lot of time together. They're like a little family, aren't you? Oh, yes, you are. The professor seems to be a genuine cat lover like me. I think we're going to get along great. Okay, here goes. No help this time. The professor steps back. The first cat I approach is very friendly, with beautiful calico markings. It comes towards me, already purring. Oh, look at you! Meow! Trixie. Name Trixie. Gender female. Age 3 years 8 months. Breed Calico American Shorthair. Eye colour green. She's lovely. Next is an elegant, sleek, hairless cat sitting gracefully in the sun. She doesn't pay as much attention and allows me to scan her with minimal fuss. Meow. Name Snooty Booty. Gender female. Age 11 years 1 month. Breed Sphinx. Eye colour blue. The fourth cat I approach is a noisy one. Meow, 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 meow. Name McMurphy. Gender male. Age 6 years. Breed brown, crossbreed. Eye colour green. And finally, the one I've been deliberately putting off till last. He's been skulking around the edges of the activity, eyeing me suspiciously, as though he could pounce at any moment. I laugh at myself, already projecting personalities onto these animals. Hiss! Look at that face. Kibbles. Name Kibbles. Gender male. Age 3 years. Breed white British Longhair. Eye colour green. All done. I hoped you enjoyed meeting some of the locals. The professor lets out a little laugh. I have a feeling you'll get to know them quite well in time. That's probably enough for your first day, don't you think? It's quite a lot to take in. I am suddenly exhausted and grateful to be heading back to camp. But the kitties? Can we pet the kitties? Ooh, rubber ring kitty. They look very classy. It's quite late by the time I've unpacked. Mate, if this is what you call unpacking, it looks like you've just upended a suitcase and thrown stuff everywhere. But I want to write my journal entry before I sleep. I'm surprised at how chilly it is. I have pulled my sleeping bag right up to my chin, but I still feel goose pimples bloom all over my arms. Shivering, I rub them to warm myself up. It makes me smile to think that this inherent reaction to the cold is what will be keeping my new feline friends warm tonight. My eyelids close, thinking of cats, and the island, and the professor. The world around me drifts away as I float up into a dream, and apparently snore very loudly. I'm not sure how long I've been asleep, but I wake with a violent jolt that leaves me sitting bolt upright. It's too dark to see anything, but I hear a rustling, and then a strange electronic noise. One that in my sleepy confusion I can't place right away. Ooh, conspiracy! Boop, boop, boop! The catalogue! Acting on instinct, I scramble to my feet and follow the noise out of the tent. Oh no. I look around me, and my fears are confirmed when I catch sight of a pulsing red light, getting fainter in the direction of the forest. I snap into action, running as fast as I can. Presumably in my pyjamas. Ah, yes, look. Barefoot, dressed in my pyjamas, running at full speed into the forest in the dark of night. I must be crazy. The words of Professor Purrfect are ringing in my ears. I need you to protect it, above all else. Should have put it in your sleeping bag with you. My legs are trembling beneath me. I stop, feeling my heart beat heavy through my body. I wheeze in and out, my breath billowing in front of me in white puffs. I shouldn't feel like this. Why am I so dizzy? I try to get my bearings and realise I've blundered perilously close to the danger zone. Jesus, I ran far. I can just make out the shapes of some large animals in front of me before I close my eyes and drop to my knees. Ooh, what's happening? Kitty! I open my eyes. The calico cat I scanned yesterday is sitting in front of me. She drops the catalogue at my feet. Thank you. Good kitty. I pass out. Oops. What a strong effort on your first day. Hello, can you hear me? Look at him. Are you okay? What is it? Don't be ridiculous, Kibbles. It's a human. Oh yeah, yuck. I can smell it now. Smells like a human. Aw, look at them all. They've come to say hello. Oh, do be quiet. Are they alive? Actually, am I the only person that can, hear these guys chatting? Or can the professor as well? Interesting considerations. Of course it's alive. It's breathing, you imbecile. Why isn't it moving? Would you come on and give them some space? Move back a bit. Yes, stand back, move out of my way, let me have a proper look. I begin to come to. The Sphinx cat is standing over me as I open my eyes. We stare at each other for a moment, while I try to take in what's happening. Is this one defective? Oh, I feel sick. I am gonna puke. Ah, my little face. The cats watch me intently. Am I going insane? Ouch, my head! What is it chattering about? They're scared and confused. Let me talk to them. Human? Are you alright? You! I remember, you took my catalogue. Oh, but I gave it back to you. It's back in your pocket now. These must be very dexterous cats if they're able to put things in my pockets. I am impressed. I try to reach into my pocket and realise my hands are scratched to shreds. Ow, 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 ow! What's wrong with my hands? I try to stand. Ow, 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 ow! My feet! What happened to me? Don't you remember? You went on a little quest. Yeah, I guess that's from all the climbing? I told you it wasn't ready for that. What's that? Ready for what? Its anatomical structure is far too delicate. I tried to slow it down. Yeah, Floof, you try restraining a human who's that determined. It was like a margay. Its anatomical structure didn't seem that delicate to me. I was like a what? Doing what? Yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts right now too. You made your own way back to the beach. Okay, but that doesn't explain... I show my bleeding hands. Ah, you crawled, Kara. Kara? Who's Kara? That's not my name. It's a term of endearment. It's an Irish thing. It's inappropriate. Wait, I crawled? You sure did. Like a cat? Yep. All the way from the mountains. Like a bleeding mountain lion. Impressive! Well, I'm glad I impressed you, because I'm a little confused, to be honest. But why? Because you got the sickness. Shh. Maybe you should sit down, human. We need to have a talk. Possibly a long talk. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Start explaining yourselves. Talk, yes, that's right. Since when can cats talk? Oh, for goodness sake, since the dawn of time. How else do you think we communicate? Ah, stop splitting whiskers, Major. You know full well what the human is saying. I think the revelation here, Kara, is that you can understand us. Yes, that too. Will someone please explain what the hell is going on? Well, we don't fully understand everything ourselves, at least not all the details of how this works. I think being stood in a forest surrounded by a bunch of talking cats is about as much detail as anyone would want. I agree, and more to the point, we were rather hoping you would be able to help us. You are the scientist, after all. To be honest, from the sounds of it, I'm not much of a scientist. I'm a turned up for a laugh because I had no job student type. But hey, we won't split hairs. What we do know is that the clock has started ticking for you. What do you mean? Well, there's no easy way to say this to you, Kara. I'm gonna die, aren't I? Huh, you'll be catified. I'll be what? Well, whether you help us or not, you don't have a lot of time before. Ahem, if I may. It would seem, and we are basing this on our experiences to date, that when a human manages to find themselves in what I believe you call the danger zone, they are vulnerable in ways that they previously were not. That is to say, you're screwed. You're not helping! Don't make me... Hiss! Whoa, mountain lion. There'll be no violence of any kind. Forgive me for being a bit panicked here. I think we're going to turn into a cat, aren't we? The vulnerability to which Snooty Booty was referring is simply put, if you are bitten or scratched by an elder cat within the danger zone, you will begin a process of change that will ultimately result in a full feline transition. Yeah, so we're going to become a kitty. Whispers. Catified. So basically, you're telling me I'm a werecat? I look down, and in amongst the scratches on my right hand are two distinct puncture marks. The reality of my situation descends on me like a cold mist. I mean, I seem to have accepted this fairly simply. Basically. Yes. My head is spinning. This is too much for me to take in. Take a breath now, Kara. You're not looking so good. What? Have I started to change? I feel my head for ears. Fur. Everything seems to be normal. No. I just meant that you're looking a bit shaky. Understandably so. I take a few deep, steady breaths and calm myself enough to say, okay. So why? What? How? Give me some data. What have you got so far? Look, we'll answer anything we can, but the truth is, we have more questions than answers ourselves. Did you guys used to be humans then? So, you said you need my help. What exactly would that entail? Well, finding our friends would be a start. The cats on this island. They're going missing. We don't know what's happening to them, but the body count is rising and we've hit a wall. A wall of ignorance, maybe. Really, how many times do I have to tell you? The Muellers are to blame. Muellers? Now, floofy butt, there is no need for name-calling. Speaking of name-calling, I'll remind you to call me Major, Mom. Look, they can't help the way they are. It's a lack of breeding, you know? Overbreeding, if you ask me. Again, Muellers? They're the elder cats, the island originals. They can't speak the way we can, hence the derogatory term, Muellers. And how are they to blame exactly? Well, if I knew that, there would have been no need for this elaborate kidnapping. Or catnapping. It's hardly proving to be a roaring success after all. Look, Kara, all we really know is that we are no longer safe on this island. The elders who live within the danger zone are hostile towards us. Not sure why, it's just always been that way, and now, because cats are being taken, nowhere else is safe either. You expect the occasional mishap. We live in an undomesticated world here, after all. But lately, cats have been disappearing almost every day. Even the last human we catified went missing. Eek. The last human? I'm sorry, what? Let's not open old wounds, Kibbles. Yes, onwards and upwards. Well, first things first. This werecat thing. Catification. Transition. Whatever. How does it work? time passes, then you transform into a cat. Yeah. I mean, that does seem pretty logical, to be fair. Haha, that face. It's a gradual process. It's different for everyone, but you won't just turn overnight. The clock is ticking, however. The first side effects of the transition is you being able to understand us. Well, some of us. Not the elders, obviously. Not all the domestics either. Then you have the whole heightened senses thing. The increased agility, the crazy body hair stuff. Let's not worry the human with all the details just yet. Probably a good idea, because this is already getting a little bit weird. I assume there's an antidote. I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed in that assumption. Hang on, you just said there was someone else you'd put in this position? Well, let's hope you're a better bet than they were. Unfortunately, they weren't able to discover an antidote, or get our friends back. I know where their notes are, though. Really? Eyes as big as saucers. Trade! Huh? You help us, and I'll give you their progress reports. So what do you say, Kara? Will you help us? Well, I mean, do I have a choice? She agrees. Not much of a choice, really, is it? Afraid not. Okay, fine. So, where do I start? Is there anything you can tell me that will help me track down your missing friends? Will no one listen to sense? Start with the Muellers, and I'll eat my hat if it doesn't end there too. Oh my gosh, where's your hat? Where's your hat? Whispers. Don't mind him. He's set in his ways. We have every reason to believe the abductions take place in your part of the island. Yes, nowhere near the danger zone or the elders. Well, that doesn't make much sense. But I suppose nothing does around this place. I mean, true, yeah, you're talking to cats, you're about to become a cat, this whole thing's a little bit rogue, isn't it? My catalogue starts beeping, and sounds remarkably like, one of those little timer things. Oh, my alarm. Oh, it is one of those timer things. An alarm clock. I have to get to work. You run along now. We don't want you arousing suspicions with your people. You can meet with us later. I'll make sure those reports are in your tent before this evening. Thanks, Kara. You're 1 in a million. I imagine the odds are far greater than that, given your new health status. Yeah, I think you might be right, Floofy. Go! And thanks from all of us. I mean, don't thank me yet. We have not achieved anything so far. Realistically. Other than kind of ruining our own personal health. After a rather painful journey, I am very grateful to finally limp into camp. I have just enough time to get myself tidied up for work, and I'm about to peel off my filthy pyjamas when I hear my catalogue beeping. I have a message, but I can't tell who it's from. It's not from any of the contacts that Professor Pauper programmed into it. In fact, there's no contact information at all. Unknown number. Are you sure it is wise to trust everyone? Anyone? What on earth does that mean? Also, they're kind of assuming that I'll trust them when they tell me not to trust people, so by their own logic I shouldn't trust them, and therefore should ignore their message. Haha, gotcha. Who is this? There's a lot you don't know. Think carefully about who you confide in. Before I can think of a reply, the messages are gone, and my catalogue has no record of them. I don't have any time to think about this right now. I need to get ready. As soon as I'm presentable, I head over to the lab. I'm 10 minutes late. It doesn't give a good impression on my first morning. Ah, Boo, good to see you. I was beginning to worry. Did you oversleep on your first day? I'm terribly sorry, sir. I think the travelling and all the excitement of yesterday. I take punctuality very seriously. He cuts across my apology. Not to worry, it's perfectly understandable. You'll find I'm quite relaxed about most things. As long as you get the work done, I don't mind much what hours you keep. Thank you, sir. So, shall we get started? My goodness, what on earth happened to you? He's looking at the scratches all over my hands. Oh, I fell and tried to save myself by grabbing onto a bush. With my feet and my hands, and yeah, clearly and obviously not good excuse. You're not a secret drinker, are you, Boo? Oh no, sir. I'm a bit of a lightweight, to tell you the truth. That's not helping your story, Boo. Just teasing. We ought to get those hands sorted out, though. They look pretty nasty to me. He goes to the tall metal cabinet in the corner and takes out a bottle and some cotton wool. He begins cleaning and tending to my hands while he talks. For today, I'd like you to help me with a few tasks around the lab to get the hang of things, but from tomorrow, I'll let you make your own choices about how best to carve up your time. Of course, you are here primarily to carry out your job as my research assistant. However, try to make the most of your time on the island. Once your work is completed, we'll be saying goodbye. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so don't waste it all in the lab. This guy sounds like a great boss, to be fair. Naturally, I need your help around here, but I'd also like you to get your hands dirty with some field work. Once my hands have healed, that is, I hope, because otherwise I am going to get super infected and die. Make sure you spend your time exploring the island. It's a beautiful place, and there's a lot to see. Take the time to get to know the cats. A full understanding of their behaviour is crucial to our research. There is plenty to see and do, however, you must be careful not to overwork. Take regular rest and relaxation. We don't want you to burn yourself out now, do we? I'll try to get the balance right. That's the spirit, so there you are. He's done a first-class job on my wounds, and they aren't bothering me nearly as much. I spend the rest of the day with the professor, getting to know how the various pieces of equipment in the lab work, finding out where everything is, learning some of the basic duties I will be performing routinely. By the end of the day, I am exhausted. I make my way to the tent. I'm about to flop down on my bed when I see a package poking out from underneath it. It's the reports that Kibbles promised to deliver. The cats were right. The previous person barely made a start on producing an antidote. I'm gutted and worried. What if I can't do any better? Will I just turn into a cat? I mean, is that the worst thing, to be fair? Like, cats have a pretty chill life. I decide that's not an option, and resolve to get on with my own research into it tomorrow. My instincts tell me that the cats will be a good starting point. I have a feeling they know a lot more than they're prepared to tell me. I need to gain their trust and see if I can't get them to open up a bit. I'm sure I'll make more progress if I focus on one at a time. I'm optimistic that one-to-one sharing will prove fruitful. It's a small glimmer of hope. Tonight, I'm not fit for anything. I can barely write in my journal before I fall asleep. More of my rather raucous snoring. First morning of waking up on the island. So excited to discover what the day will bring. Should I jump straight into the lab research? Or maybe it would be wise to start investigating a way to help these cats and find a cure for myself. Perhaps a good starting point would be to get to know the cats a little better on a one-to-one basis. And you know what? I think that is a pretty good point to leave it there for today. We'll be coming back to this very soon, as we've basically only scratched the surface of this game, and we'll be having a little look into all the different cats. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you want to leave a like or subscribe, that would be incredible, and have a wonderful day. Bye!